Hello everyone, you're listening to Northern Flights, a Park Pro podcast keeping you up to date with the people, tournaments, and culture of disc golf in Canada and beyond. Consider becoming a Patreon today at patreon.com/parkpro. Find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by DiscGolfPark. And now your hosts, Andre, Jesse, and Matt. Hello, everyone. It's episode 11. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to Disc Golf Park as always. On today's episode, we're going to go through some news and notes, and we actually have a lot of news and notes. Believe it or not, in the last week, there has been some major news that has dropped. This is kind of crazy for the off-season, crazy end to the off-season. We got another YouTube story, and we are going to be doing a season preview in the form of a fantasy draft. And then when we have time, because we always have time, we have a little discussion regarding non-playing fans and how we can make the viewing experience better for them. So stay tuned for that towards the end. But first, how are you guys doing? Everyone.
Good.
Draft day, baby.
Draft day. Yeah.
Pump.
I did not prepare for this at all. I'm just going to go with my gut. Normally for fantasy football and hockey, I put a lot of hours in, and I didn't put any hours into researching this. So
I like your style.
Yeah.
I think it's better if you just go in.
You just go with your gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use your natural ability.
Exactly. I've also never been a part of a golf style draft before, so I'm sure it's a little bit different than fantasy football and whatnot. So, yeah. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing fantastic. I am looking forward to continuing my dominance in the disc golf draft world. It's going to be a good one. Weather's still nice here, but it's going to get super cold super fast, so enjoying it while I can.
Awesome. Did you guys play any disc golf recently?
Little mini field work session.
Yeah.
Testing out some new discs. Got to throw the FD1 for the first time. That boy's stable.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people even know about that yet because it just hit the PDJ approval page last week. I don't think they've announced it publicly even.
I mean, Eagle was throwing it at Goat Hill, so.
Fair.
But, yeah. They've been floating around, but haven't really been mainstream yet. But essentially FD2, but kind of an old school mold.
Yeah.
I have some old first run FD2s that are very similar in flight and feel. So I think they're, because like the 3-tool FD2s, which have been the most recent ones, were pretty flat and not super stable. So I'm guessing they've just kind of restarted that one.
Yeah, it didn't feel or look anything like the wing on any of the normal FD2s that I've seen, even though the flight numbers match it. But yeah, I didn't even throw yours, but I watched you throw it. Pretty serious flex shots I was fighting out of. So
essentially a slower FD3. But I mean, I guess it's kind of their original attempt at recreating the second run FD. So, and those were, stable.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, no one's thrown this stuff, so we're not going to be able to give references, but the C-line FDs were straight stable. The S-line FDs that no one has thrown yet are actually quite flippy. So I'm hoping that this FD1 is more overstable than the C-line FD.
So
and if there's an S-line FD1, it fits between the current FDs.
I like it.
I don't know any of those discs. Which Vibram disc would you compare it to the most, would you say?
Get out of here.
Good question.
Is it like a valley or a little bit more like an arch, would you say?
I wish I knew what any of the flight numbers on this. I know there's an IBEX and OBEX and an arch.
I have no idea. I know they make or have soles to shoes. So
yeah, and frisbees. They're back. They're back in the game though, as of this year. Because
were they
do small runs of expensive discs?
Were they PDJ unapproved? I feel like they got reapproved.
I don't know. Maybe it's new molding.
Yeah.
So that does happen to discs. They do get de-approved for whatever reason. Quirky discs are getting de-approved left, right, and center. I think most of them are
Turbo
gone.
putt.
Yeah, turbo putts, epics, all
Gone.
that stuff. They gone. RIP epic though. That was
Can
a
you
weird
still throw
one.
it?
That actually.
The like the dimpled chings?
Ooh,
Those probably aren't allowed anymore, hey?
Probably can.
the juju.
Yeah, the juju, the mid-range juju, and the driver juju, whatever they were called.
But man, those were crazy. Back in
Mine
the
is
day.
somewhere,
Yeah.
like here. And you know what? I hated all the little thumb bumps it had in it, but the actual wing of the disc, like,
Nice.
and they flew straight. They're sick.
That's it.
Jesse, now that you're a Discmania sponsored player, can I trade you something for that Buzz GT that you got in your basement?
That
thing is
the
sacred.
first run Buzz GT
Oh,
from 2007.
I'll look on their website. Maybe they're still making them.
You know what? Actually, last year, Ledgestone busted out some Buzz GTs for the first time in a long time, but they're not exactly first run material. But yeah, they're out there. I used to throw that thing too. Good lord, that was a weird disc.
Yeah.
Feels great.
Do you guys want to run through some quick news and notes, and then we'll get right into the draft, just so we don't hold our patrons too late.
You bet.
So in news this week, first of all, rescue ratings. We set the registration date for March 1st for all the events. Rocket Bear is open now. It's already got quite a few people in there, so sign up soon. And then, of course, that is that's our local series that goes up and down the East Kootenays. And then general registration opens for the TCO, an A tier in Kamloops, and that's in 5 days. I believe on the 20th of February. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the date. That's the date I had in my mind, anyway. So, and then in Disc Golf Pro Tour news, Gannon Burr recently announces he's leaving Prodigy. And ladies and gentlemen, the All-Star event that he is taking place in is like 3 days away.
He's on the course right now.
Yeah.
So I think 2 days.
Has there ever been such a late switch in sponsorships?
I can't think of one. Weird, but
so weird.
very fun.
Because
Big boy.
is he 1 year or 2 years left with Prodigy technically before he broke that contract? I thought he was
think
through
he had
till
1 year.
2025, but I could be crazy.
No, I think this was his contract year coming up here.
I don't know, but I mean, for Prodigy to announce him on the core team like less than a month ago,
Yeah.
and for him to get out somehow.
Yeah, inside 30 days of the big announcement.
I don't know if Prodigy was on board. I would say I doubt it.
Yeah, if he's in like a long-term contract from when he was younger, they're probably getting great value out of him, and you don't want to lose those. But yeah,
But you kind of have to pay a guy after having a year that he did.
oh, absolutely.
Winning a major. What was he? 4th in Pro Tour points?
Yeah,
As a
just so consistent all
Yeah.
year.
I mean, how many top 5s?
Yeah.
It seemed like he was always there. And
Yeah.
he's 17, 18. He's young. He's a
Crazy.
kid. Super high upside in the future.
Yeah, like for talking about Simon getting 10 years now. Simon's not a spring chicken anymore, and he's getting his 10 years. If you can get a long-term contract on a guy like that who's not even in his prime yet, really.
I mean, it's tough to throw like a 10-year deal at a 17-year-old.
Totally.
And especially his stature. I don't know what kind of
Yeah.
regimen he holds himself to, but you could totally see that derailing if a young kid just kind of gets carried away or doesn't take care of himself, and boom, there goes his elbow. The next Will Schustrick.
Yeah.
Do you see what Will posted on Instagram the other day?
Crazy.
Absolutely nuts. Maybe worth an aside to that right now. Will Schustrick, for those that don't know, he was like the USEGC GOAT.
The guy.
Yeah.
4-time.
I think he's a 4-time. Yeah, beating all the big boys, and yeah, top of the class for that era. Shoulder issues stop him from being able to putt or practice putting. And what do you say? Like 10 putts in a row is enough that his shoulder can't handle it.
Yeah.
Throwing, he's fine. Putting, he's not. So he's been secretly putting left-handed in practice for the last 5 months, and he's like ready to debut it on tour this year.
I mean, there was a clip of him like draining 60 footers.
Yeah, like
That's
not
nutty.
just holding the disc with his left hand. He's left-handed putter now.
So Will Schustrick, sleeper pick, draft.
In the draft, he's
Maybe.
not even on. No, he will be. He'll just be further down because his rating dropped pretty.
Yeah.
Get the search out. I'm pretty,
Do your homework.
While you're doing
researching.
that, I also started putting left-handed because I have to with my torn elbow.
oh, the
and-
60 footers coming.
No, no 60 footers.
That
But
doesn't- 60
I did have the, you can get those baskets that get skinny. I had
Oh,
the basket on the
Marks.
skinny setting, and I was 17 feet away, and I drained 4 of 6 with my left hand. So
Wow.
I was pretty proud of myself. And I haven't been training for 5 months.
Fair. But
Yeah.
but before we move on, I mean,
Yeah, back to
the
Gannon.
Gannonburr thing,
Huge.
a little kind of almost maybe news. Throws up a Instagram story with Isaac Robinson having a little friendly CTP, and says he's throwing a Warbird, Lone Star Disc Warbird.
Yes.
So is this just Gannon trolling? Or is this... He has recently deleted the story. So it was only up for a little bit. So
It's
did
interesting.
he catch some flack? Did he reel back his trolling? Or is it the real deal? Gannonburr to Lone Star Disc. You heard it here first. Breaking news.
I think it's a bit of a troll for sure. It's like his character to troll like that, and also, where did my voice go? Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, like they've shelled out money for that team so far, and you got to think that it's a pretty premium price for Gannonburr.
For sure. But if you have a chance at getting like one of the hottest commodities on the market,
Yeah, maybe
And they got
you,
they got that sweet oil and gas money.
yeah, Texas.
mortgage that salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the obvious rumor going around is Discmania because they have that 1 million. I was listening to I think it was the Upshot, and they were talking about how it just kind of makes sense to just like take that $1 million and give it to Gannon over the next 2 or 3 years.
And I mean, just the timing makes sense with
Totally.
Simon leaving pretty late, Discmania obviously wanting to fill that slot. And I mean, who better to fill the slot than one of the hottest names on the market, and probably the one with the biggest upside and potential for the next 5-10 years. So, I mean, I doubt that they're signing him to a super max long time deal, because that's kind of hard to just throw that money at somebody that's not super established. But at the same time, I'm sure they're throwing some money at him for the next couple of years.
I could see it being like a signing bonus heavy contract kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a 1 or 2 year kind of prove it. Believes in himself. He's going to get the bag on his next contract. Yeah, so interesting. Just this offseason we thought it was not going to be so crazy, and it's pretty nutty.
It's been good.
Do you guys want to do a fantasy draft? And we'll get to, we do have other news to get to, and that is the challenge at Goat Hill. And obviously we can preview the All-Star event a little bit, and then just a little bit of news from the PDGA, but we can get to that after the fantasy draft. I feel like we can bring our patrons in to join us for a fantasy draft. So I'm just going to explain kind of the gist of it as far as I know how it's going to work. We're kind of running off a skip. We're running off a skip ace, and we're just going to use their standard rules. So it will be Disc Golf Pro Tour. It will be Elite Series, Silver Series, and Majors. And we will be drafting 7 MPO. So you have to start 6. So you have 1 bench spot, and we are drafting 3 FPO, and so that's 2 that you have to start every week and 1 bench spot. Does that make sense to everyone?
I like it.
All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I haven't prepared for this at all. Have you guys prepared much?
I've kind of gotten the headspace a little, kind of put aside some players that I'm like, ooh, this might be a nice little sleeper pick, but more than that, no.
Right.
I haven't been doing a mock draft, or I don't have any notes here. Just going.
I did a spreadsheet last year. I was looking up like everywhere I could find people's calendars. I was looking up like medical updates on Eagle McMahon last year.
People's zodiac.
This year, just the zodiac.
Yes.
Everybody's got a jive.
and
Everybody, you need to have that chemistry, that team chemistry.
there's going to be a full moon around D-Glow, so I
Exactly.
can't trust the Scorpios, etc.
People's dogs' birthdays.
All right. I'm gonna bring these guys in. I'm gonna have to mute you guys or unmute you guys individually, and then maybe as I unmute you guys can introduce them. Maybe Matt, you can take that honor, and then I will get the website ready.
I
Here we
can
go.
take the what? I missed it.
You can introduce these guys. So
All right.
as long as they unmute. And I am trying to unmute you guys. There.
Hello.
All right. I think everyone is unmuted.
Yes.
I hear a small child. I'm guessing that's Greg.
Hey guys. I have a crying child in the background, so I'm going to mute myself again. Just for a
All
second.
right.
All right. From Grand Prairie, Alberta, we've got Greg Hearn, ladies
his
and
crying
gentlemen.
baby.
Applause noise. Yeah. We should also have Brett Wells in the house. Brett, we got Brett Wells.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Brett? Of Medicine Hat, but currently in Calgary, Alberta. Is that right?
I'm in Lethbridge, going to school.
Lethbridge. Nice. And we should have Bradley Ireland as well, right?
What up, homies?
There he is.
Hey.
How's it going, Brad?
Good to see
Another
and hear you
Alberta
guys.
boy.
Or Brad's ear.
Yeah, Brad's ear and
Yeah.
joining us from the other side of the lake presently.
Nice.
He's in the area.
Yeah, he could
Hot
have come
tub
in
of Brad's
live on the
later.
panel
Oh,
today.
man.
Yeah.
Should have got that going. All right, guys. So we did a random draft order. I don't know if you guys are you guys all on Skip Ace? You guys are good to go? Everyone's set up, ready for the draft. The way that we're going to do this is you're going to draft, and I will try to commentate as we go, or one of us will kind of commentate as we go. And then we will ask you why you picked that player, and we will, try to keep it to about 30 seconds to a minute per player, just so we're not going, too long. And then, as we get kind of further and further down the board, if, just make some notes on some players and, see how this goes. I'm not sure if this is the first time I've done a live draft on a podcast before, so hopefully it makes for at least half decent content for our listeners.
Must-see TV.
Yes, if you guys are already bored, go to YouTube and watch, because then you can follow along. We have the draft board up, I guess you know what? Before we get to this, I just wanted to say thank you to DiscGolfPark for sponsoring our podcast. DiscGolfPark is a unique disc golf course concept developed in Finland back in 2005. It is based on the idea of building sports facilities in an environmentally friendly way. Disc Golf Park provides great experiences for players of all skill levels, from beginners to professionals. Our main ideology is to introduce disc golf to new audiences. There are a number of options to suit any kind of course, and all official disc golf parks include professional and safe course design, Disc Golf Park Pro targets, tee pads, and tee signs, as well as an info board to welcome players to your course. The Disc Golf Park World concept consists of multiple courses designed for different types of players. Multi-golf is a new, fun activity for the whole family. In multi-golf, 3 forms of golf are played: foot golf, disc golf, and park-style pitch and putt. School Disc Golf Park offers the students a new and interesting form of exercise for the physical education classes. A course suitable for schools can be designed even on a small area, for instance, a schoolyard. Furthermore, the cost of school disc golf park are lower than those of regular disc golf parks. We also offer private and group lessons or clinics. For more information, check out the website at discgolfpark.com and request a quote today. Also, ask for Matt Reardon. He is our local representative. yeah, why don't we bring our guests here? Have you guys played on Disc Golf Park baskets in the past? Any of you?
I love the
played
Nordic
the
Center.
Canmore Park. Yeah.
Did you like them?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Good. All right. Anything else on Disc Golf Park, boys?
Go play.
Go play. I think we're here for this fantasy draft here. So, without further ado, we will start the draft. And oh,
I got 2 Brads calling.
2 Brads. Oh, that's not going to work.
Bradley Williams.
Maybe. Oh, Brad's back.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So up first we have Matt's going to be starting the draft. This is the draft order. Matt starting the draft, and then we have Brad Bacon Bits. I believe that's Greg. And then
Yep.
Brett Noodle Arm. That's myself, Jesse, and then Max. And this is a snake draft, so it will go in reverse order. So without further ado, here we go. We are starting the draft. As soon as Skip Ace
All right.
loads.
How do you switch to FPL?
They're on the same
So-
list, I believe. You just have to go by rating.
Oh my goodness, that's annoying.
Yeah.
That's
You can search
All right.
FPO,
Okay.
I believe. All right.
This is a pretty no-brainer. If you've been paying attention to disc golf, you know that all of the professional players get a rating assigned to them by a PDGA. And the rating is an exact description of how good the player is. So I am just going to select the number 1 highest rated player in the world right now. He's about 5 feet
Really?
tall and throws super smooth. Manabu Kajiyama. Oh, I picked Ricky Wysocki by mistake. Oh well. All right, I'm gonna go with Ricky Wysocki, I guess. Mr. Consistency. All he does is play well. He's got an ice bath in his life. He's going to be the best player on tour this year again.
All right. We lost Brad, but Brad is up.
Brad said he's calling back in right now. So that might be a legit call this time.
And Brad has picked Kristen Tatar.
Oh,
With his
Brad
first
leads with
round.
Kristen
Really?
Tatar.
I like it.
Yeah,
Bold.
big move.
Why'd you go with Kristen there, Brad?
You gotta have a strong female, and she's the strongest, right? So I think any of the top 10 MPOs can compete on any given weekend, but that's not the same for the FPOs. So I think I'm picking somebody that's going to podium every weekend.
Big brain. She did last
Solid,
year.
solid.
So,
Yep.
All
will
right.
there be more
Okay.
parity?
Up
in
next,
the
we have Greg.
Yeah, I chose Calvin.
Calvin
Greg
Heimberg
chooses
off.
Calvin
Ooh.
Heimberg. He's probably
Very
due for a good
consistent
season
player.
here.
Yeah, he's kind of
Mhm.
under. I mean, it's hard to say underperformed, but people assume he's going to be starting to win and win often. And I mean, he does win, but you would think that he's like a top 3 player.
Totally.
He was definitely put into that atmosphere at some point.
And Brett takes Paige Pierce with the second FPO off the board. And that leaves
I should have
me.
taken an FPO player.
That leaves me on the board, and I gotta go with my guy. I think he's gonna be back from the injury. I'm feeling really good about him. I was hoping he might get to the second round, but you know what? I gotta take him now. I'm going with Eagle McMahon. I think he's due to have a great season. He's already picked up a win, and that's part of the news we're going to get to later. He's got the GOAT. He won the GOAT Hill.
Challenge at Goat Hill.
Challenge to Go Hill. Thank you. Yeah, exciting.
I like that pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my
Mhm.
thought too.
Before he got injured, it almost felt like if he wanted to win on a given week, he would just win. He'd just be like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just going to win this week. Like he
Well,
was
I mean-
head and shoulders when he was healthy.
He's 1A or 1B in putting. One of the best putters in the world. Throws further than anybody. Can throw forehands further than anybody.
If his arm doesn't go with the disc
But
this time.
we're talking about
Could throw.
before injury. But I mean, he seems to have figured it out without a left hand. So, or without a forehand.
Without a forehand. And next up, Jesse takes Gannon Burr, the gentleman we just talked about, the phenom, the young phenom. You want to talk about this pick?
Yeah, I think Gannon's got a huge upside. He finished the year, as far as I'm concerned, the best player on the tour with the USDGC win. Kind of the last big tournament that mattered. So, and like, he's still a kid. I think your physical prime has to be your early
How much
through
time do you
mid
have for a
20s.
pick?
We have uncapped time.
Okay.
So you can keep thinking now that I picked your pick.
All right.
Yeah, I think he's got really, really high potential. Only going to go up. And he was already in the top 4. So
Totally. Yeah, no, I agree. That was a great pick. I feel like he's one of those guys. I think this year he could win any tournament. I think last year was just kind of his coming out party. And with that, Max takes teammate,
Fan of the podcast.
Kyle Klein.
I think he's due for a good year as well. He's kind of one of those guys who just doesn't win all the time, but he's racking up the points, and I think he's due for a big year. I think he had a down year last year, and that's even to say he played really well. Top 10. I don't know what he finished last year, but he's a good player.
Totally. And of course, being a snake draft, you have the next pick as well. I'm excited for Kyle Klein this year. I feel like he's kind of in the last couple of years, he's been one of those players that he can, he's always kind of been up and coming. So is this the year that he starts to win more tournaments? I guess we'll see.
Second pick, Katrina Allen.
Good move.
Pretty, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's due for a big year, but she's one of those consistent FBO players who've done it and done it again. And you kind of have to assume she's going to at least stay in that top 3, top 4 spot. And I think that's good enough to rack in some FBO points.
Yeah, totally. And of course, seeing as we're drafting MPO and FPO, I feel like that adds a little bit more value to those top FPO players that are gonna, finish in the top 5, top 10, each tournament. So
yeah, and I mean, I did a little homework. The points, like the points that you get for MPO versus FPO, it is a bit skewed. So a 10th place in FPO is worth like a 40th in MPO.
Oh, crazy.
So it is, pretty important to get those top FPOs, because if you're
talking,
now you tell me.
Hey, we've already picked one, so like the top FPOs are off the board. But yeah, so you kind of have to like think where. So like the top first 2 picks on FPO and MPO are pretty similar points, but once you get to the 10th MPO and FPO, it's actually a lot better to still have like a top 10 MPO than a top 10 FPO.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of tactic there. For sure. I'm struggling with the.
I think it depends on what rule set we're playing.
But how do you see like the recently picked players?
It's on the right side on the bottom.
Yeah, but
underneath your team. Oh, on mobile. I have no idea.
On mobile, it's a nightmare.
Mobile, it's different, I bet.
Okay, you have to go to roster though. Then recent players.
I'm picking. I took Owen Scoggins.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, I think the putting part of it just means she's going to finish consistently just about anywhere. She plays a lot of tournaments. She doesn't play all the tournaments, but she plays a lot of tournaments. And just so people know, Masters events don't count for this. But I think she's going to probably never finish in the bottom of any event because of her skill set. So
she is really solid.
Yeah,
like she kind of plays that. She's like a Nate Sexton of the FPO.
Exactly.
Like maybe doesn't play super flashy and win tournaments, but she's not taking big numbers and letting the course eat her
Bunch.
alive.
She
Either
didn't
alive.
finish worse than 7th last year. Well, she had a bad LVC at the start of the year, but that's not really a course that suits her game. But after Las Vegas Challenge, she didn't finish worse than, well, 16th at Preserve. You know what? Why don't you just, I'll just go ahead and mute myself. Who's up next? She
I
finished
am up.
top 7 a lot of times, though. Take my word for it.
I am up next, and I think I'm also going to go with an FPO player here, and I'm going to take Evelina Salonen.
I like that pick.
I just kind of wanted to make sure I get one of the top FPO players, and I think she's just due for a solid season. Yeah, I'm happy with that pick.
It's the exact opposite of my pick.
Like if I would have in my mind could have picked 2 players, I would have picked Andre's first two players
Yeah,
for sure.
it's just one of those things. Like I think I liked if Owen dropped to me here, I would have taken her. I think just because she is that sort of safe play, and then but I feel like Evelina is make or break.
Oh,
so,
she's gonna podium or get bottom 10, bottom 5.
yeah.
You're gonna be gambling on benches and stuff. I like
But-
it.
Or she learns how to putt. Or learns
Exactly.
how to putt
And
under
she's the best
pressure.
player in the world. Yeah.
Then she's winning every tournament.
There you
And
go.
Andre's laughing.
All right, and Brett Wells took Paul Macbeth. That was who I was trying to
I
decide
was gonna
between.
take Paul too, yeah.
Are you stoked that Brett? Brett, are you stoked that Paul fell to you?
I can't believe he fell this far in the draft. Like, he's got to be easily one of the best players.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you know about the catch with Paul though?
I don't know if it's a catch. Like he's gonna deliver.
He's gonna
And I'm
deliver.
missing like 2
events-
events,
Yeah.
3
So
events. Maybe.
Yeah, he's missing
Oh,
events
he's
by
going
staying
to
in
Europe
Europe.
for a while.
Yeah.
the Europe stint, he's missing 2 Elite Series and 1. He might be missing 4.
I think he's missing
events.
4 events.
But he's going to win 5 Silver Series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's definitely like you have to.
it was tough.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really weigh the.
I think in
Who
a normal
you're
year,
swinging.
he's going. It's between him and Ricky first overall. Maybe I guess Tatar, but and then we had Greg followed that up with Ella Hansen, which is that's a
girl.
Like that.
yeah crush girl.
Nice.
Greg,
I,
why Ella?
I'm a huge fan of Ella. I feel like she's only going to get better, and like her record in Ultimate Frisbee really shows her skill at sports. So I think this year we're going to see a lot more Ella on the podium.
Awesome.
I agree with
Plus,
all those statements.
she
Yes.
throws Discmania, so
Hey,
Yeah,
She's got something going for her. Yeah.
we secretly, as Disc Golf Park, secretly just put in a boost for all the Discmania.
Yeah, we picked Kyle Klein way out of order. We picked
Yeah. Speaking of Discmania, Brad takes ex-Discmania player Simon Lizotte with the next pick. Brad, are you concerned with Simon learning his new MVP discs?
No, it'll take a couple months probably to come out of the gates, but somebody with that kind of talent, it's not going to take him long. It doesn't matter what's in his hand. A putter's a putter when you're Simon Lizotte.
Yeah.
but is a distance driver a distance driver?
Yeah.
That is the question.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I'm definitely excited to see how he throws those MVP discs.
Yeah, I think that new 12 speed they're bringing out is going to kind of solve his distance driver woes. At least that's the hope and the plan for him. Not like it's a DD3 or anything, but
You can't always have a DD3.
yeah.
All right, and on the clock next we have Matt with the next 2 picks as he's at the top of the round.
All right.
Walk us through it, Matt.
I'm going to choose an FPO player. I'm going to pick our 2023 FPO World Champion, Valerie Manduhano. Even though she's injured to start the season, she won the 3 events last year, and she is only getting better. One of the top Manduhano sisters in the world right now.
One of them
And
for sure.
yeah, and I'm really torn on my wraparound pick. Matteo was so consistent for me last year. He was my hidden gem, but I got to go with Chris Dickerson still on the board. Gotta
Going to
go
be
with
good
Chris.
for woods courses and stuff for sure.
And I think, I mean, he was on the board for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Totally.
he could have gone 3 or 4 picks earlier and nobody would have batted an eye. But I mean, it does get to that weird point where if people are starting to pick the FPO players, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I
The
gotta,
clock is ticking on
yeah.
your FPO lineup.
But yeah, that's the beauty of a live draft.
Mhm.
Nerves are real.
Yep.
You could cut the tension in here with a knife,
With an armadillo.
with an armadillo.
With an armadillo. Yeah, speaking of Lone Star rumors, I did pick up a couple of armadillos, and I got them in the 2 plastics that I could find, the Alpha and the Bravo.
Oh, these are different?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, one's softer.
K1 and K2, or
Yeah.
K1 and K1 soft.
And the armadillo is similar to a Berg. That's why I wanted to get them and try them out. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how those Lone Star guys go. Brad, what are you thinking?
Gonna go with another FPO, I believe. Try and round out my top 2. And I'm taking Missy.
Missy Cannon.
Here we go, Missy
Solid
Cannon.
choice.
Yeah. Another putter.
Yeah, I mean, she also kind of seems like I think she's in the same boat as Val, where it's like they could be a top 2 player. Like they could really push Paige and Kristen. But I think Missy lacks a little distance.
Yeah.
And it
that's-
hurts on like the grand scheme of things. So, but I mean, she obviously makes up in different areas of the game. But maybe holding her from like winning a world title, but she won throw pink one year.
She does have a big win there somewhere. And she
Yeah.
is a sicko putter. That clip of her hitting the elevated basket, getting the 60-foot roll away or whatever, and then smashing the putt. Ice cold. I love it.
She's she's a lot like Owen Scoggins. You don't need to throw it far when you can lace it straight up the middle of a fairway every time.
Yeah.
Ain't no one got sidearm like Owen Scoggins.
And I mean, with this like format of point scoring over a season, like it's not somebody who doesn't throw as far as the top throwers in the FPO field. It's not going to hurt them. Like
Yeah, Vegas is going to not be great.
a couple events, they might not play up to their full potential, but they're probably averaging what you expect them to average.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think just generally the FPO is going to be very fun to watch this year. I think it's going to be, it's going to be tight at the top, and I think it's one of those things where almost anyone can take it.
I think we're gonna witness a Paige comeback year.
Yeah,
she seemed to have maybe lost a little bit of the spark. Didn't seem as fired up, and I think Kristen having the year that she did will probably do that for her.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't, I don't think anything will. And maybe we've seen the best of Paige Pierce.
Yeah, possible.
Hot take.
Greg, you got any thoughts on this next pick?
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to take Joel Freeman. He's very strong. He's got fantastic shirts. He's a man of God. So he's going to place high this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
just
This
gotta-
is a Joel Freeman shirt. That's what I was thinking.
In honor of Joel Freeman. Watermelon bubbly.
Yeah.
Mr. Watermelon.
Yeah. That's a solid
He was-
pick.
I think he was voted one of the least popular players in that ulti world. Like there was a bunch of players that people loved, and then there's a bunch of players that people were like, I don't really care. Then there's a handful of players that people really didn't like, and Joel Freeman was one of the few players on that list.
How can you not like Joel Freeman?
I don't like Joel Freeman. I'm sorry, Joel Freeman. Great guy.
He's listening with Kyle Klein.
Great
right now.
guy.
Yeah.
But
If you want to come on the
I'm just
podcast
not-
and dispute this, Joel Freeman,
I'm
you
not
let us know.
about. I would like to see the PDGA be a little more tight with the dress code. Not that what he's wearing is like egregious, but just it's not professional. And if Joel Freeman's going to win a world title in a watermelon shirt, it's just not good for the sport. Like
Whoa,
ESPN's
who
not going
called
to
the
blast
fun
it on.
police?
I'm sorry.
ESPN's
And like,
gonna blast it, but they're also gonna
I'm sorry,
blast
Greg
the
Barsby.
PGA for it. You don't like the Pit Vipers?
get it together. I mean, even like Garrett Gurthey. I'm sorry.
See, I have a bigger
it just
issue with
doesn't-
like Dickerson and his camo shorts and his T-shirt.
Chandler Kramer, get real. I'm sorry. Like, just the colors. Like, it looks like he's wearing just a cotton tee. Yeah. It's if we're gonna push the sport to televised ESPN professional platform,
I hear you.
you have to
Bro.
look the part.
Have you seen professional bowling? Those outfits are ridiculous.
We don't want to be professional bowling. I feel like we should be already be above PBA attire.
So,
right.
speaking of nice attire, Brett Wells chose Andrew Marweed,
Cookie Monster.
podcast favorite. Andrew
He's
Marweed.
got a hot hand.
Already got a
Strong
win.
start to the season.
Yeah. He's looking good.
Yes, he is. Anything else on Andrew there, Brett?
Oh, where are we at?
I just like his
Yeah, you
style.
can tell
I think
him well,
he
so.
came from college disc golf, and he's sort of like an up and coming guy. And with a first place and a second place to start the season, you gotta think this could be his year.
Totally.
What pick are we on?
Next up,
Me.
Jesse
Noodle
is
arm.
up. Well, we skipped myself. I took Anthony Barella. I feel like he's always kind of been really close, and hopefully this year he gets there. And I believe he's doesn't have school in the way anymore, so he can focus on his disc golf, and hopefully
Throwing that new plastic.
Discraft can take him to the next level.
He's already got a win under the belt as well.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Whose pick is it?
Me.
Okay.
I just picked.
Okay.
I just
Jesse
took Corey
just
Ellis.
Oh,
Very good pick.
And I was going to try and wait till it came around again, but I was so scared with Max picking twice in front of me
I
that he
would've
was gone.
Totally picked.
Yeah.
Corey Ellis is going to have a good year.
Totally.
He's such a good player.
I think he's got
putting-
the biggest upward trajectory
Yeah.
of anybody.
I don't know if there's any real narrative why, but I just think he's learning, and he already had that close to the win at D-Glow, close to the win at MVP. I think the fire is burning.
I think so too. I think he's very driven to be better, and he's already like chomping at the top 10 with jumping up up in there more often than not. So kind of a sleeper pick.
All right, and that's a solid pick. Max is up next with 2 picks. What you got going on there, Max?
2
What's your
picks.
thought
I
process?
think I have, since I'm like at that 2 pick, I think I have to go for FPO, or else it's going to be in
Slim
the
pickings.
30s, the next one. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go maybe a little dark horse, but I think she's, already played 3 events, I think. Already podiumed at all 3 events,
I know who you're going
if not
with.
top 2. Struggling with the FP40s, but I think she's going to have a big year. Maria Oliva.
spicy. That's
Yeah,
whoa.
I liked that. I was kind of hoping to get her, but I was going to wait till next draft.
She's hanging out with Luke Sampson, Mr. Grindhouse.
Yeah,
Plays all the time. I think they're gonna just grind it out this year together. They've got the party bus going on, the Vegas, the RV.
yeah.
Took over the Castaplast RV. She's got a new little kitty cat, Volcom. Little
Makes a big
little
difference.
cheerleader, but I think she's gonna figure it out this year.
Totally.
And
Next,
Nadio,
Nadio.
Oh,
he's up there, 1040.
Yeah.
I knew I should have taken him.
I'm not a huge fan of his game. He's probably my favorite person to hang out with, though. Just the funniest human being I've ever met, honestly.
Yeah.
And like naturally, doesn't even try.
Yeah, you hear a lot of really good things about him. It was when I was on my pick, I was trying to decide between Matty O and Barella, and I went with Barella. But
I've a hard time watching him play disc golf though. Like he is just such an unorthodox
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
But the way he makes it work is just so impressive.
totally.
And he had a solid year last year.
If they counted, like, if you could get a thing that measured spin rate, I bet his spin rate would be among the highest.
Yeah,
in the
because he
division.
doesn't look like he throws it all that hard, but he just
No.
generates some kind of power somehow.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Who do I take in FPO? Do I take Haley King or Holland Hanley?
This is
Mm-hmm.
this is a juicy pick.
Haley King has so much upside, but so much downside with her Gen Z mental health. Dude, that's
Or do you pick Jen Allen? I don't know how much FBO.
yeah.
she's
That's the thing.
playing, but-
She might just like clean clock and 40 plus, and I already got own, and they could just both play 40 plus, and I could be hooped.
Sarah Holcomb.
The Queen of Clean,
Cat.
cat
The
merch,
legit cat.
the
merch.
legit cat. The
But,
I think I'm gonna go. Oh shit,
Helly Hansen.
Helly Hansen.
Helly
That's a
Hansen.
dude that makes coats.
Holland Hanlon. HH.
I'm gonna press in between the two of them and see what comes up. I got Haley King. Now I regret it, but now I no whatever. It's out.
Haley King, she's
She'll probably more likely to win a tournament than Holland Hanley, but she's also more likely to come like bottom 30%.
did she win throw pink?
She won throw pink for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but she should be the next one up.
On paper, she's the next
'Cause
one to wear the crown.
I don't know how young she is, but she's young.
I think she's
And
20.
Form impeccable.
Yeah.
One of the best
When you
forehand, backhand, putting, technical player out there.
And for the record, Parked Pro acknowledges that mental health struggles are real and for people of all ages, and do not condone Jesse's commentary regarding generational.
Buddy, no one has worse
attitudes
mental health
towards
than me.
health. Yeah, well, maybe if you took care of it, you'd be as rated as highly as Haley King is. How many majors do you have, Jesse? 0, I think.
Major mental health problems. Now let's move on.
All right, I was up next, and I did take Holland Hanley. I also believe she's a major breakout candidate. Another one of those ladies that I don't think was really fully committed to it last year. Last year was her first real year on tour, and I think she's due for a breakout as well. So I feel like there's a lot of upside there, and I was tempted to go with the Henna Bloomrose, but having Solon and Bloomrose on the same team, I was worried about maybe not getting all the tournaments that were
Yeah, that
I need. So that's why I went with Holland Hanley, because I feel like she's going to be at every event. So
I don't know. I did a little bit of homework there as well, because I wanted Evelina so bad. So I thought she was going to be like the gem pick, because she made a Instagram post with her schedule, and
Is that what
it's
you're looking at work today, trying to
loaded.
pause the reel for the schedule when we were driving?
no.
Okay.
This was the USDGC qualifying events. Anyways,
Okay.
she's like loaded US tour schedule, so I think that's fine. I didn't see Henna's, but they usually tour together.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be
totally.
surprised if
speaking of Henna, Brett takes Henna Bloomrose.
Boom, boom.
Do you want to talk about that
I
pick?
was also trying to find her schedule. Couldn't find it, but she just got engaged, so maybe that'll bring good luck.
Oh, there you go.
No,
or maybe she's staying home.
relationships bring bad luck. So,
Maybe she's pregnant.
no. Yeah.
Greg had crying babies in the background. He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tournaments go way down. with
But we're
relationships.
going on
Yeah.
FPO tear right
FBO
now.
tear. Greg
Greg
takes
hasn't
cat
beat me
merch.
since he had a kid, so
Legit
it's
cat merch off the board.
Yeah. Cat merch is great. I think she dropped some dead weight in the off season, and she
I'm about to
tours
draft
all the
Nico. I'll
time.
call him deadweight.
So it holds her back, you know.
Yeah,
You know, people got to be free. She's got her raccoons to take care of or whatever, so she's gonna do good.
What?
I have no idea, but
we,
it checks,
we
it
can
checks
gloss
out.
over that. We can gloss over that. But I think Kat's gonna have a good year. She
I
had
think
a
so too.
good year,
Yeah, this past
respectively, this year. But yeah, legit. It's in her name. It's in her hashtag or handle.
Mm-hmm. All right. Looks like Brad has made his pick too, and he has picked James Conrad.
I was thinking that one.
Who drafted Simon? Is somebody going gyro?
Brad had Simon.
Brad had Simon as
Wow.
well. So,
Checks
Brad,
out.
are you a fan of MVP? Going with Conrad as well?
No, not at
How
all.
do I see what pick it is?
I just, I think Conrad had a bit of an off year last year, and I think he's bound for a big rebound. So has nothing to do with the disc in his hand.
Right.
I just like the fella.
Yeah. No, he's that's a solid pick there. Towards the end of round 4, and up next we have Matt with his 2 picks.
All right. I need a young upstart, and I think I might get a value pick with Isaac Robinson.
That's a solid pick.
Very good.
I really wanted Isaac.
I
Really
picked
wanted Isaac.
Gannon Burr last year pretty early, and it worked out for me. And I think Isaac Robinson's going to be my Gannon Burr pick this year.
He's very, very good.
Yes.
Nearly won the Pro Tour Championship. Just crazy putter. Maybe a little unorthodox style, but can hit from everywhere
Yeah.
and often. Hits circle 3 putts often. Throws really far, really nice. Just a good guy. And recently, I don't know if he toured full time last year.
No, I think he was also in the
Recently
process of
graduating.
finishing his education.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
and I think he's got a full slate this year. So that's a super solid pick.
Thanks. And oh boy, the FPO pick. Do you want to grab another FPO player? You guys took all my favorite players, though. You know what? I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna go full Manduhano this year.
Wow, I love it. Viva Mexico.
As far as I know,
Oh, that's
there are
so good.
no Manduhanos left on the board. So I got them all.
love it. Oh, I wish you would have picked henna, so we would have had like the Finns versus Mexicans.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful, beautiful. The chemistry on your team,
Yeah.
At least you know they're going to get along.
or Val just kicked Alexis off the
True.
elite team.
True.
So she's
a little tough.
motivated, you're saying. I like
Yeah, there might be a little fireworks there, but maybe some healthy fireworks.
Yeah.
I would say both of them need to. No, they're both great players.
Yeah. And Brad goes with Chris Clemens to follow that up.
Solid pick. I
Nice
love that
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
That was my
That's
other
a-
choice.
Depth chart
Yeah.
pick right there.
Just out of the top 10, number 11 U.S. Tour ranking.
That's
Yeah.
higher than I would have thought off the top of my head.
He got so many like top 5s or like top low single digits.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you didn't see him on a lead card, but always in the top 10. It seemed like crazy.
Really
I also
controlled
heard he
game.
might have trimmed his hair on the off season. He could be a little bit faster this year.
Oh,
Like
Also,
nothing we've ever
research
seen
Brad.
before.
Also, one of those just like grinded out plays all the time. Like I think him and his girlfriend Hannah have been on the road all year. Like they haven't really stopped. They were out playing courses all over the place. So maybe he'll just start off with a bang.
And then burn out, and we won't lose this fantasy league to Brad.
All right.
Up next,
third
Greg
Mandolano.
takes Mason Ford.
Recently married.
Yep.
Did he
Yep,
take
taking
her last
the
night?
the last Montano, taking the
Yeah,
last
exactly.
Montano for you
I
there,
like
Matt.
Oh, I didn't get the whole set.
Okay, what pick are we?
Have you ever touched an alpha disc before, though, Greg? Do you know how
Mint?
alpha
Mint
discs
disc.
are?
Mint discs.
Oh, he's a mint. Yeah,
Mint?
that's right. A mint disc. Sorry, I've
The
thrown a mint
alpha's the
alpha. Have you ever
driver,
thrown a
thank you.
mint disc?
No, I don't actually think I have, but that's okay. Yeah, it's all good. I trust him. Trust the process.
All
He
right.
did. He started really well last year, so yeah, I think he can get out there and do it again.
Yeah, that's super solid. Brett Wells takes Adam Hammes.
Oh, it's also a good sleeper.
Distance thrower,
Great
Adam
pick right there.
Hammes.
I like it.
Who knew he could throw 700 feet? Not me.
No one. He didn't.
Got close.
He
650 or
didn't know.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But apparently AB did.
Didn't know that he could do that?
Maybe not 700, but they were. I don't know how many people watched the USDGC distance competition, but they were talking about it while he was throwing his first discs, and they were like, Adam Hammes said he can throw like 650. And then he threw like 690 or 670.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, you wouldn't have thought that
All
he
right.
had that in the bag.
It's my try.
I took Kevin Jones with my pick. I feel like he's also due for a rebound year, or not. Maybe he's not as good as we thought. I feel like it was worth the gamble at this point in the draft. So, yeah. Jesse, who you got?
Taking Drew. He's floated around too long.
Yeah, that's a solid pick.
He can win any event he plays. Maybe not going to, but he's got the tool set for it.
Totally.
So, why are my picks out of order? Why have I picked 49th and 50th and not 21st and 22nd?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Your
Whoever told
roster's sexist.
Whoever
Moves
told
all
me
your
this was
FPL
okay to
to the
do on
bottom.
mobile.
Oh, it might
Oh,
sort by rating.
mine
not
scrolls
by-
like crazy too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to pick now.
Yeah, you got
Who's
two
left?
picks.
Who's left on FPO?
No one's taken Kim Scott Wood yet. Just saying.
Top rated Canadian.
Top rated.
That's
Canadian.
true.
Hey,
Yeah.
no one's taken Tommy G yet. If you want a Canadian that's actually going to play events.
Nobody's
Who's gonna
taken
take Thomas?
one of the 3 highest paid FPO players in the world yet.
That's because no one in this draft is going to pick Konopanis no matter what.
Hey man, we all have a bench player. And if I'm picking
That is
somebody
true.
with the highest possible upside that might have slipped down a little bit, Konopanis would be the worst choice.
That's true.
She's one of
Okay.
the best throwers in the division.
I don't think I'm going FPO. I think I'm saving that. I'm gonna.
I wonder if you take who I'm thinking.
I want to take Nicholas Antela, but
Mhm.
he's also playing a lot of European events.
Totally. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things you have to factor into these kinds of drafts and stuff. But Nicholas is someone that I'm excited to see how he does on the Pro Tour this year. Granted, if he plays more events this year, but I think he is playing a little bit in Europe as well. So
All right.
Picks.
I did take Ezra Aderhold. Grinder.
grinder.
Biggest biceps on tour.
Totally.
Shredded.
Are they? Are you guys USADA tested yet, Max, on tour?
Sorry, what?
Are you guys tested by USADA yet? Drug testing.
USADA.
United States
Wow.
drug.
I've heard that they are going to have like testing tests this year. It's not going to matter whether you
See
pass
what
them or
shows
not,
up.
but they're preparing the process of drug testing because I think that's going to be instated in 2024.
So they want to see how many players they're going to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which would be a lot if marijuana is not allowed because
USDGC Players Pack is in shambles now.
yeah. And so yeah, Ezra Aderhold, Albert Tom, I'm going big boys for
Ooh,
my
there you
picks.
go.
I like the
Nice.
Albert
Back
pick.
big arms.
Need my boy Albert. Started off the season early, so you'd hope he's right in the groove as we start. He's got that sports visa, so he's not worried about staying in the U.S. too long. And I think he's just really, really, really good.
Yeah.
That part helps. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely helps.
Maybe
Like the
needs to
methodology.
figure out the putt a little more.
Mhm.
Watching Goat Hill coverage, missed a lot of putts, but the guy can throw the disc.
Totally.
So I think that will translate into some good finishes.
And he throws a disc in a way that looks like he could do it until he's 60.
Oh, he's
Like
a
he
machine.
doesn't. Yeah,
That's why.
he's in good shape, and he like he has a not stressful throw on his body.
Slow run up, very controlled, very powerful, but also doesn't look too, like you said, doesn't look too crazy. Not James Conrad going horizontal.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's an accident
like-
waiting to happen.
Have you seen how much he works out on his Instagram reels and whatnot? Like
No,
he is a machine.
Albert and Ezra are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
They work out every day.
Whereas James Conrad, what? Neck
Juggles.
muscles for his hair?
Well, let's just count the world championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took Alden Harris.
Mm.
Sneaky good pick. I think he had some really great events. I think he had some pretty average events. I think if he gets on a hot streak, he's worth playing more than a lot of players on the list. And I think he's a safe guy to have on the bench if it doesn't work out.
I like it.
Nice.
Double G. Bacon bits, natural.
It's
That's
Mhm.
I took Bradley Williams, and then Brett followed that up with Aaron Gossage. What you got on Gossage there, Brett?
The goose is
the
off the
Goose.
board.
Yeah,
I like
that's a pretty
that.
good one too. That's what
I
I was
think he had a
battling.
solid season, a couple podiums last year, and he actually played a lot of events. I'm just kind of like looking at the DGPT standings,
Mhm.
and like he
Grinder,
fills in a lot of those blanks. So.
Prius grinder.
not a priest.
Totally.
that
Yeah, I
type
was
of
also
thing, no?
trying to decide between him and
Minivan.
Bradley Williams. I went with Williams. I know he's capable of winning events as well. And then Greg, you went with Garrett Gerthy.
Yep. I feel like he didn't have the best season last year, but like he's historically always up there. And yeah, I think he's gonna podium. They travel quite a bit, so they're gonna be at a lot of the events. So.
Yeah, totally.
I want to see what pick it is.
Gotta scroll up, Andre. On mobile, we can't see what pick order
Yes.
is, so we're floundering here.
Yeah.
Why?
It's
see some-
currently pick 42.
But it doesn't.
Like why?
Can't you
And
scroll side to side?
Brad took Nicholas Antila.
Love it.
Mm.
So he's gambling on him coming over for enough events, and obviously that's a solid pick, especially given that we have those bench spots because you can put him into your lineup. What else you got on Nicholas? Brad?
Max wanted to pick him, and I just wanted to make sure Max didn't get another shot at him.
Fair play.
Solid.
Fair.
It's half the
Right?
rules of fantasy.
Maybe you
is
should
just-
keep that a little bit closer to your chest.
Hey, I mean, I dropped the ball on the FPO NPO scoring system, but I just want to see good fantasy disc golf. I
Yeah.
want to see a tight league. I want to see everybody doing well.
I want to see you do so badly.
I don't know. I'm picking a little bit with the feels more than the
Yeah,
smarts, but
totally.
I'm picking feels too.
All right. I got to go with Old Reliable. He is supposedly back touring a little bit more regularly.
Oh, I wanted him.
He's already signed up for like 7 events or something.
I wanted him.
Nathan Sexton.
wow,
I wanted to take him.
I didn't want to take him. He was probably one that I think I have a thumbs down on him. I haven't heard that he's touring more.
He signed up for 7 events.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, he can drop out. It doesn't matter. He might just have pick up everything off his tour card and
Yeah.
go. But
I don't know. He scares me a little.
yeah, it's a bit risky.
Definitely a risky pick, but
I mean, we're getting down to it.
yeah, we're in the weeds.
And
many
I'm trying
picks
to
do we have
find
left?
him.
4 picks left.
I'm going to, I think, take my favorite European player. Sorry, Max. Laurie Lettman.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. But
I'm telling you,
I would.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to risk 12 more picks.
He had a weird finger injury towards the end of the season. Don't know
care.
if that's alleviated,
It's a finger. You can chop them off if they're a problem.
but it's one of those really important fingers. Throwing hand, middle finger, top of the middle finger. So like
He's gonna be
putting.
fine.
It was also one thing that was like he surely injured at throwing, but he said he couldn't putt because that last little trajectory
the pop.
with the middle finger, he just couldn't do it without any pain. So he dropped out of the last like 4 or 5 events. But if he's healthy,
It's a long-term pick.
he could be one of those number 1, number 2 European players on tour,
Yep.
Mhm.
and like consistently up there.
He's going to start on my bench, and he's going to have a strong finish to the season.
Yeah. All right, Brad, who'd you go with?
Emmerdale,
I took Emerson Keith,
Lone Star Captain.
top 25 USPR still on the board.
Yeah, there you go. It's a solid
He's-
pick.
He's got lots to prove.
Yeah, and he's obviously throwing new discs this year. He's throwing for Lone Star Discs.
I'm
so,
4 picks. You're 5 picks.
And until Gannon signs with him, he is the face of that company.
Yep, exactly.
Or is Chandler Kramer bigger than Emmerdaddy?
I think last year.
I think everybody is bigger than Emerson Keith.
Physically.
Short joke. But I think it's more like 1A, 1B.
We
We'll
at Park
see.
Pro do not come the ableist thing about short people on the podcast.
Get out of here.
I did like I remember Emerson quite a bit from 2 years ago. That's when I first really like watched disc golf consistently. And I remember thinking to myself, "Oh, who's this shorter guy? Like he's one of those guys that gives me this hope that maybe I could be good at disc golf one day." Unfortunately, Emerson is way better than me and way better than I'll ever be. And yeah, it'll be interesting. I think he had some injuries problems last year, and obviously he's throwing those new discs, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. And then we had Greg going with the Canadian Thomas Gilbert.
Wow.
Solid
Hey,
pick at that point.
Damn time.
Yeah, solid pick
I
at
like
that
it.
point.
Yep. So it was very distracting. My wife and all her friends were up here grabbing ice cream, and so they're talking to me, trying to figure out what to pick. And they're like, "Just pick Ulibarri, right? He's good." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not picking Ulibarri. The guy's washed up and old now, and
Hey,
he got engaged, so it's not gonna happen."
Yeah.
So,
sneaky
I'm
good
like, you know-
ending to the year for Ulibarri.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
powered out the end of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clutched up
totally.
on those last 3 or 4
Yeah.
events.
It's nice to see Gilbert go off the board, though. Obviously, it's always nice having a top Canadian on the Pro Tour. And then Brett went with Gavin Rathbun, also a solid pick.
If he's healthy, he's an extremely good player.
Yeah, totally.
And if he doesn't get busted on the drug testing. Not pointing any fingers, but
Pointing all of your fingers at the same time.
Yeah. I decided to round out my FPO squad with Sarah Holcomb. I feel like she's, she's fairly often in that top 10 conversation. She is getting a little bit older, but I feel like she still has it in her. to win some events and, finish in that top 5, top 10 at most events. So I feel like that's a good rounding out of my FPO squad. And that means that Jesse is on the board now, and he's looking up players right now.
I was going to take I don't know, because Max is going to take an FPO to round his stuff out because he's got the double pick, and I don't want to get caught like that. But
so
I also think I'm taking Nico.
It's not a bad pick here because he is still capable of winning.
He's capable of winning it.
He's
right
capable
up in the draft.
for sure. I mean, you just look at what was it, Waco 2 years ago?
He's definitely a top 10 player.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
The risk with Nico is that he is on probation. So the second that he does anything wrong, he could be out. However, that is kind of the beauty of the fantasy is like, you have that spot. There's free agent. So if he is out, you can just drop him and pick someone else up. And that is exactly what Jesse did. He went with Nico LaCastro. Like I said, I think at this point of the draft, I think that's a solid pick because he gives you that upside of winning. So
I'm thinking of an MPO player, and if Max picks it, he'll have thwarted me. I want to lean back. I'm in my comfy sports mode.
I honestly think there's only one pick I can make right now.
You're going to take Vinyl.
I'm not taking Vinyl.
Good,
I would love to take Vinyl.
That was a distraction. That's not what I was thinking of.
The Europeans.
You're taking
yourself?
No.
Yeah, I mean, Brendan Smith.
Damn it.
My cursor.
Oh, yeah.
He's dropped.
He dropped.
Oh.
He's probably the last one of that. I mean, he was top. What was he? 27th in tour points, and I think he's only going to get better.
He is.
He's really, really good.
He's really good, and he's. I think he had trouble keeping, not healthy, but he wasn't keeping his active lifestyle up throughout the tour last year, and he plans on doing that a little bit more this year and touring in a different way. And he hangs out with Ezra, so I feel like that is going to be really good for conditioning. So, yeah,
the bros. Someone that had some industry connection said it in a very funny way. All the guys on Discraft really do deserve each other.
Yeah, that's so true. And walk us through your next pick here, Max. One lined up?
Jesse threw Vina's name out there, and now I'm starting to think. I haven't seen his schedule, but I don't think he's going to put much weight into the European events.
Yeah. This is kind of starting to get to the point where we have to start thinking about our MPO and FPO players as well. I'm just trying to stall for you.
I took Vinyl. I took Vinyl.
There you did it.
I think he can pop off on any event.
Yeah.
He had an ankle injury last year, early in the season, around like Champions Cup, or when did he do it? Probably a Texas event. I didn't think he was going to come back from it. It was so bad. But he was back like a couple weeks, and he's really, really good. Definitely one of those European players who can, be a top 20 guy if they put everything together. And I think Vina, he's one of those motivated players as well. Andre's licking his lips over here.
I had this guy lined up. I was like scrolling through. I was like, where's the guy I was going to pick? Wow. Oh, yeah, there he is. And then literally as I was looking at him, like getting my button on the draft now, he disappears because Jesse Tumulty has taken Cole Redolin.
I like that pick.
That's a solid pick at this point in the draft. I feel like he's got a lot of upside. He's really young, throwing infinite now, I believe. So, yes, I believe that's great pick.
One of those young guys who can just, if they put it all together, can have a really good year.
Yeah, I think I can see him taking a couple top fives at some Northwest events and some stuff like that. So. Maybe like a good in and out of the bench kind of guy.
Young guy still too, I think, right?
Totally.
Oh yeah, he's like 19 or 20.
Yeah, tons of upside. Good pick.
I did not go with a younger player. I went with Kale LaVisca.
MP40.
Yeah.
Nice.
I checked the schedule on earlier, and I don't.
He's playing MP40.
Oh no.
I don't think he's signed up for
Oh
like a.
no! Why?
I'm
I
not
know
100%
I know
sure.
that
He-
he's eligible, and I know that he's.
He played Goat Hill at MP40.
Yeah,
but that might not mean anything.
That's what I mean. It's
you know?
it's an A
Yeah,
tier.
well, it's a
I think
bomber course.
he'd be fine.
But yeah, check PDGA. It would be weird if he just transitioned to MP40. I think
it'd be really weird.
He's also one of the
more-
like few good players that Prodigy has left on their MPO
Yeah.
team.
Totally.
They'll probably want him out there.
He signed up for a good chunk of events.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a little heart attack because I did see that he played MP40 for Goat Hill.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't. Yeah. Not that would mean. Yeah.
I just feel like at this point, it was a solid pick just as far as, his skill level goes and what he's capable of. Up next, Brett takes Macy Villadiaz.
Nice.
What you got on Macy there, Brett?
Looked like she had a good number of top 10 finishes towards the end of the season. One of the higher rated FPO players left. And given that I took Henna Lumrose earlier, I think it's probably important for me to have 3 solid FPO picks if she's going to be missing some of the US events.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And then Greg follows up with Jason Hebenheimer. Hebenheimer.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
Also
Yeah,
a really
I
good
don't-
guy.
He's so funny to listen to.
If nobody's seen this guy play the game of disc golf, go fire up some footage. I don't know what tournament it would be.
He's up
But-
there.
The guy's putt is one of a kind.
Oh.
You're never going to see anybody else putt like this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? Horseshoe putt?
Horseshoe.
Yeah,
Or,
that's what it looked like.
How's the disc by his side?
Yeah. It's the
Pendulum.
old dad throw. You know how
Yeah.
like
Like throwing a beanbag in cornhole.
yeah.
Steps to
And
his mini.
Steps into it everywhere.
He does a step putt that ends up at his mini. It's my
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
kind of step putt.
So he steps to his mini. So he has all this forward momentum and this pendulum. And it looks insane. But he makes it
It
work.
works.
I saw him hit a crazy downhill, like circle's edge putt, Music City Open last year. The green's on like a 45 degree. He's above the basket. This guy cans it, going like Mach 2. Like he was sending that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Water behind the basket. So ultimate death putt. And that's when I knew this guy was the real deal.
Ice in his veins.
But also, how bad does your putt have to be to resort to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. this-
I want to know
what a
was
conventional
going-
putt out of him looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. All right. And then Brad takes Gavin Babcock with his next pick.
Yeah.
Solid pick.
Love it. One of the greatest guys on tour.
What do you like about Gavin there, Brad?
As far as names left on the board, I think he's got a lot of potential. I really hope that he will pan out for me for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think he could definitely pop off for some good finishes. I mean, has played really well at Champions Cup last year. I think that was his really top performance. But he's got all the tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just needs to get a little more consistent, and he can be up there with the big boys.
He's got that
Fellow-
nice plastic now this year.
Exactly. Those logos are popping. Those short shorts.
All right. Well, I've got a boring pick and an exciting pick. I'm gonna go with the substance over style. All he does is show up and finish kind of near the top 20 every time. Andrew Presnell.
Yeah, boring pick for sure.
Mhm.
I had it on my do not pick
And
list.
Also on my do not pick list.
I'm not too worried about
I'm
hurting.
going to
his
follow
feelings,
that up,
but
as discussed, with a top 5 throwing talent in the FPO division. Maybe this is her year, Kona Panis.
Nice.
Somebody did it.
Yeah, that's I mean that's
I love it.
Back-to-back bad picks. Get out of here.
but that's one of those
We'll
that's
see.
one of those things
I'm
where
undefeated in disc golf drafts, Jesse.
You know what? I don't know.
it's one of those things where it's in the FPO. That's his bench spot. So if Kona doesn't go off, drops.
Yep.
Pick someone else up. Pick up someone else who's.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, like,
Yeah.
Kona has it in her to be good.
She does for sure.
She's not a scrub.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying like she's not a good pick because she's not in the top 10 in my head. Not that she's like a
Well,
bottom feeder
I want to
bad
know
player.
where she finished before this contract. Like
Yeah.
what her Pro Tour standings was in 20. What was it?
I'll tell you.
2019.
In 2021, I think she
Well,
just
that
finished
was
her
it.
first year, right?
When did she win Waco? What year was that?
That was 2021.
That was
20,
before the
Oh, it
move.
was 2021.
21. Yeah.
So she's only
Yeah.
been there for a year?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
that was
she moved
last year
over
was her
with
first
Ricky,
year.
Same time as Rick.
Yeah.
Wow.
She
Yeah,
finished
no.
7th in the standings
wrote her
in
off, eh?
2021.
7th.
She finished better than Lisa Fakis, Heather Young, Deanne Carey, Rebecca Cox, Owen Scoggins, Kat Merch. She
Legit.
finished at both
Is it my pick?
Montejanos.
No, you're ways away yet.
Good player.
Panic.
Brad goes with Lisa Ficus.
I like that.
Yeah,
Consistent.
that is another solid FPO player. Pops in and out. Also a Lone Star addition. So
Ooh, new bag here, though.
Coming from Innova.
Mhm.
yeah,
Also mixed bag.
50% mixed
Can
bag.
still throw a lot of
You're
Innova.
throwing armadillos and the
Armadillos.
other one that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Warbird.
yeah,
The Jackrabbit.
yeah.
Is that
There's
their
some,
new putter?
I think so.
The
There's a funny one, wasn't there?
there definitely is some funny ones.
Dang it, I can't remember.
Lisa Ficus.
That's another FPO player off the board. Definitely, we're getting into the last couple of rounds here. I
Does
believe.
anybody already filled out their? Has anybody already filled out their FPO?
I have filled out mine. Yes,
I have
don't-
also filled out mine.
Yeah, me also.
I have an FPO in mind too. Oh no, not Max taking my FPOs.
Do I pick before you?
Nope. Mine's lower down the list, but it's a sleeper
Yeah.
pick, I think.
Greg goes with one of the two best Chandlers in the Pro Tour.
There you go, Chandler Kramer. That's Lone Star two times in a row.
I like the pick.
Yeah,
Is he going to have a
Crazy.
backhand this year?
No, you can guarantee he will not have a backhand this year. That guy is locked in. It's insane how well he can play with just a forehand.
Mm-hmm.
It baffles me, and I think he's content with it. Like, I don't think he will. If he doesn't get injured, I think he will throw a forehand for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
I don't think he will ever throw backhand.
What do you like about Chandler there, Greg?
I just felt that like he had really good performances last season, and I feel like he could do it again. There's always that big swing through Texas, and I think he'll do just fine.
Yeah.
Or he'll crash and burn and whatever, he's a bench player.
I think he'll do really well if he doesn't get injured. That's the big thing. Like that
Yes.
is very stressful on the body what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I ran into him Des Moines, and he had to get like Botox shots in his finger to like
Crazy.
alleviate some weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Brett follows that up with Austin Hannum. I think that's a good value pick at this point. Dropped off a little bit last year, but he always has the potential to do well on tour.
And he's going to play a lot of events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Austin there, Brett?
I think you guys said it well. Not too much more to add. He was just kind of, hovers in the standings last year. I think he was sitting 45th at the end of the year. So not too bad.
Yeah,
Also, cannon of an arm.
totally. Hey, Max.
Hey.
You touring with Linus again?
We'll see each other.
How many events?
Whole year in an RV.
Linus is doing a full tour for sure.
Full tour?
Yeah, so pick him.
That is
Cheater.
my next. That is my
pick
pick.
him. Great
Linus
pick.
Carlson, my
Great
next pick.
Finished top 30 for sure.
Yeah.
20,
And he's young as well, so he's got that upside as well. I just like I said, hopefully he does full tour.
Yeah. No, I think he's again one of those that I don't think he's putting too much weight into the European events. I don't know if he got his visa sorted. He might have. So he
Okay.
might have that unlimited
Oh, nice.
time in the US. And I mean, he hit a stride towards the end of the season. I think he started to figure it out. I think he struggled a bit in the first half of the season to live on the road, live in an RV, live in the US. How do I manage my time? How do I manage my practice? How do I manage my body? I think he had a few injury worries, never like anything serious, but some stuff that bothered him and I think hindered his play. So I think he could really pop off this year.
Yeah.
And that's saying something from somebody who finished 29th in Pro Tour standings.
Totally.
You could definitely be a top 15 player.
Jesse takes Paige Shue. That's also a value pick towards the end of the draft.
Was that the one?
This was one that I was thinking about before, but I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's
Love
funny.
it.
I didn't do any research, but I remember thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm going to save my last FPO pick till the last couple of rounds. I'm going to pick Paige Shue. And I completely forgot
Brilliant.
about that strategy. So
Brilliant. World champion.
Yeah, free world champ.
Shue.
And when she's
And-
already announced that she's hitting a full tour this year and everything.
So here's the thing, though. She might only play half the events because her and her husband are going to split half the events. Because they have maybe not half the events, but it's probably going to be more like 3/4 because I believe her family is coming to watch them. But I do believe, is his name Grady? Is that his
Grady
name?
Shue.
Grady will be playing events as well. So it's not like she's still going to be at a good number of events, but she's not going to be.
I hope what the split is that Paige plays all the Elite Series and Grady plays all the Silver Series.
Yes.
Because otherwise, we're going to have a chat with old Grady Shue about where his place is in the disc golf world compared to his world champion wife.
Yes.
she's signed up for 6 DGPT events already, so
Yeah.
at the very least. And she's already got 2 wins under her belt, including she won an MA1 event.
I did see that. That was
Which
this
is-
past weekend.
They didn't offer FPO, so she tuned up all the amateur men.
I am going bro pick right here.
Is that what I was going to pick?
Tristan Tanner.
Oh, yes. That's
No,
solid. I do like
One of
Tristan Tanner. a
One
lot.
of those guys. Like
do
if
like
you
him.
could trade all of your disc golf skills for a player, I think Tristan Tanner is one of them for me.
Yeah.
Just such pure form,
Yeah.
forehand, backhand, putting maybe a little unorthodox, but effective.
I think he's also one of those guys that came off an injury before last season, and then maybe he was still hampering him a little bit. But I definitely like that pick a lot.
I
super
love the
solid.
way he plays disc
Yeah.
golf.
Yeah.
I love watching him play. And really good hang. Really good guy. Shout out Tristan Tanner.
So it's nice having Max on this podcast because he gives us a little bit of insight into each of these players and not just how they play on the course, but also how they are off the course. So we appreciate that, and we're gonna miss it. I think this is your last episode, isn't it? No.
I'll be back next week.
All right. All right.
Um,
We'll get into that
same
later.
time next week.
We'll get
But
into that later.
second pick,
Kaiti.
keeping it Estonian.
Nice. I like it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'm the worst at names. Kaiti Tate?
I would say Katie Teta, but
Okay.
that might be Swedish coming in.
Right.
I don't actually know. I don't know if I've heard her last name said properly, but I would guess Teta.
Interesting.
Katie Teta. Yeah, I mean, also kind of heated up at the end of the year with some top tens, and typically tours with Kristen and Silver. So, she's coming to a lot of events.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's really motivated. I think she's got the drive. She's got a boyfriend that plays disc golf. I don't know how much him still being in Estonia. I mean, it hasn't really hurt her so far with coming out to all the events. Maybe not full tour, but usually puts some good work in. And yeah, I think she has potential to get some good finishes this year.
Totally. Solid end of your draft.
All right, do I take Kuba or do I take Barsby?
Kuba Koobs. I love that pick.
I kind of like it too, but like Barsby's so valueless last pick.
I would go Kuba. Love it. But he shouldn't listen to me.
Yeah, that's what I got from that, so I'm picking Greg.
Kuba Koobs. But honestly, Jakub Semerad.
Yeah.
Legit. Tiny. Maybe shorter than Emerson.
Yeah.
Can throw the disc. Can putt the disc. But don't watch Big Skins, because that will break your heart. The guy should have won $50K at the Big Skins tournament.
Oh, yeah?
Eagles Crossing. Literally had 2 chances to take had 1 chance literally to win it. Take 8 skins in the final round.
You missed 2 20-footers or something like that?
It was windy. And you're putting on gateway baskets.
I own
questionable.
One. Yeah.
But it was a 20, maybe as short as a 20-footer. And this guy won the world champion putting competition. The guy can putt. Maybe you don't want to putt like him. He has a pretty spinny, you would think that it would be an inconsistent technique, but yeah, the guy just hits the left chains maybe twice for a lot of money and one for literally $50K.
Is he going to be on tour much though?
I checked the schedule before I even brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
He's, also one that could be doing the Paul swing, 6 or 7 weeks in Europe.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
For a last pick, I think he's playing enough events to warrant.
You convinced me.
Hey, I like it.
Taking him. That was my last pick. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Greg Barsby, we didn't talk about him though much.
Just so deep in the draft. Max and I talked about his play last year. He's hitting podiums and doing crazy stuff. He's also finished 40th in some events, but
missing cash.
If you can get a last pick that's capable of going top 3 at a pro tour,
he won PCS.
Yeah.
So
There's just too much value there dangling in front of me to say no.
I had him,
Texas States.
I had him penciled in before he took him. So solid pick. And your draft, another solid pick, James Proctor.
Oh, yeah. The Vanilla Gorilla.
I love the
Nobody knows that nickname, but that guy, one of the best hangs. Love James Proctor.
There you go.
He started hanging out with us towards the end of the year. He was an honorary European.
Nice.
Just great guy. Great hang. Loves cards. Loves math.
And he looks like he's playing a more full season this year.
Yeah.
He signed up for a ton of events. That was really the only reason why people didn't really know much about him, was because he was doing a half-year tour.
Well, he was a full-time teacher.
Yeah.
Now he's retired. Full-time disc golfer. No more teaching.
Retired.
Last year, I don't know if maybe at the early start of the season, he was still teaching a little bit, but towards the end, he was full-blown tour.
Frothing his life away.
And his Instagram handles is on Eric Oakley's vehicle. So I don't know if they're touring together.
Interesting.
Sponsors, check out.
Yeah.
Infinite.
No one picked Eric.
No one picked Eric. Yet. Draft's not over yet.
How many?
Next up, we have Greg taking Madison Walker.
Yeah,
pretty solid.
Solid and good guy points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When I first started paying attention to pro disc golf, she was quickly my favorite FPO player, personality wise. I loved all her tour stamps that were coming out, and I only throw MVP, so gotta get that team MVP out there. I just got 2 of her Axiom Rhythms in the mail the other day,
Nice.
so I'm pretty pumped for the season now.
Yeah,
Great.
Maddie Walker,
Yeah. Brad follows that up with Benjamin Callaway.
great pick.
It's a good
Mm.
pick.
He
Hoping
was
for a
one of my-
rebound this year. He got dropped down off the elite team
Yeah,
at Disc Golf,
he's got
but
fire in his belly.
he's a solid player.
He seems like he always has a little fire in him. He's a spicy boy.
He's intense.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed things about him, but I can only say good things about him. He was one of the first guys who, like, I played with him, and just instantly after that, it was just like, bro, just really nice. Always went out of his way to say hi and say how's it going, and just a genuine nice person. But also got a lot of people saying otherwise. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good way to end your draft at least. So I feel like he's always capable of doing well. So
Throws far.
Real far.
Man crushes.
It's got snap. It's got that
He's
snap.
like a mini Ezra. Like, he's not huge, but he's shredded.
Yeah.
Takes care of his body. Spends some time in the gym for sure. But also is a little smaller in stature.
Yeah.
Shorter, but can throw really, really far.
all right, Matt,
All right.
finish out our
Well,
draft.
I wanted to find somebody real fun for the last pick, but you know what? I'm gonna go with.
The
He's
less
gonna
fun.
be at all the events, and
Jeff
people
Barnes.
write him off a
Spring.
little bit. Jeff Spring, big germ. I'm telling you, last year he was dedicating himself a little bit more to the game and taking it more seriously, and he's got a better setup and the traveling. I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank, and he's going to be reliably there all year. So if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to get me some points.
Who picked Nate Sexton?
I also picked Nate Sexton.
This is
I've got
amazing.
teams.
So you have Big Sexy,
Yeah,
Mando Dingo Dango Jingle Jangle sisters.
yeah.
Who other twins do you have?
Yeah, what other storylines are in your draft?
Matt, I want to look at your team. I love it.
The rest of them are just good players.
Only Linus Carlson is going to get that joke.
Yeah, super
All right.
solid. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this draft. Thank you to our listeners for listening this long into it. I know we've been at it for a little while. Maybe I'll insert a little skip the draft if you want, just so that people, they can listen to the top names, because that's what a lot of people want to hear. We obviously got a little bit into the weeds and in depth, which is, I think, valuable as well, especially having Max here, like we mentioned, getting a firsthand look at these guys on tour. Max, sorry, bud, you went undrafted.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of drafting myself, but I don't know. I think
It would have been fun.
insider information. That's too much tampering.
Yeah,
You could,
can't
but
just
you
be
could,
like-
you could throw yourself on the bench, and then you wake up on a Thursday
Just
morning,
one
and
of
you're just
those
like,
days,
man, I feel good this weekend,
Yeah, that would have been a
and just throw yourself in.
baller play.
Play
but
good. Trade yourself for somebody. Intentionally play like shit next week.
But I don't know. I thought it was a little faux pas.
Yeah, you know what? I picked
You also have
and
to
Casey
scroll
Hannemeyer
really
together
far down.
1 year, and came last in my league.
I think that was good.
I'm looking at
Fun
all
time.
these teams on the screen here, and there's
Can you make
some
that bigger?
stacked teams.
I
Yeah,
like
I
Brett
think-
Wells' team a lot.
I think we did a really good job.
I'm thinking
I
if
like
I
my
have to pick
team
an early
too.
winner here, I'm going with Brett Wells for the win. I think.
I think FPO picks are going to play a big part.
I mean, Greg's team is super solid too. Brad's sniping Kristen early is also super big.
Andre's got he's got people who throw a million miles and people who throw smooth woods shots. So he's got good balance, Andre. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for our YouTube viewers, it's a little bit difficult to get the full teams up here, but yeah, I think maybe we'll put a little post up on Instagram so people can see the full teams, and we don't have to go through the whole draft again, basically. But yeah, thank you to our patrons for taking part in the first Parked Pro Skip Ace Fantasy Draft. We're very excited about it. We're going to try to make it an annual thing. And for those that didn't make it to this one, we are hoping to do some sort of year-long thing. So keep tuned to our social media for that, and we'll post some information on how you can take part in that every week, and hopefully we can get some prizes involved in that as well. Anything from our patrons you guys wanna? Now's the time. You guys have the floor.
Hey, you guys feeling confident?
No,
That says it all.
no. I had picks in mind, and they'd go like 2 or 3 before, and I'd have to scramble. And
That's the worst. Scrambling in the draft.
But to be fair, though, that's how I
chicken.
usually draft, and I usually get somewhere in the middle of the pack in sports. So,
hey, it's always important to aim high, Greg.
You know,
I like your team, Greg.
I'm MA2 for life, so I'm always middle of the pack. You know, when I started playing, I started MA2 with Matt and a bunch of other guys.
Slaughtered.
They all moved on, and everyone kept going, and I'm just MA2 for life. So my team is MA2 for life. It's good.
Nice.
There's definitely some good picks there.
Yeah,
like I think the Ella Hansen pick is going to pay off.
Ella Hansen's a good pick
for sure. Cat Merch, I think those two could really score some big points.
Totally.
Calvin and Joel is big.
Yeah.
Filling in the rest of the MPO might be week to week, pretty dependent, but those two guys are going to do pretty well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want to say I appreciate you guys and your invite and everything you guys are doing for the disc golf and the Coots, and you guys are an aspiration for the sport for sure. And for those of you listening that have not signed up to be a Patreon yet, get your shit together.
Love it.
Because these guys are the real deal, and let's help support them because it's more than just this podcast.
Let's
go. It'll go a long way.
I didn't think I could like Brad any more than I already did. I thought it was already at 100%, and then he just took it to 110.
I mean, his left ear has been the star of the show, center stage.
Definitely has.
But patron to patron, I love it. Love that.
Yeah.
Just get out there, be a patron.
Like Brad.
Be like Brad.
And Brett and Greg.
And Greg and Brett.
Totally. Yeah,
And
we
Brett and Greg.
we appreciate you guys what you guys are doing, supporting our patron. I mean, it's not a lot, but it definitely contributes, and we appreciate it a lot. It will make a difference. It does make a difference. So join our patron, and maybe next year we can get you on this podcast, and you could be filling out a draft roster as well. All right. I think maybe if that's it for the draft, we'll say goodbye to these guys. Thank you so much again. Any closing words from our patrons? Brett, Greg.
I just want to say thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys April 1st. I'm going to come to Cranbrook and bring a crew from Lethbridge, and we'll be decked out in our new jerseys thanks to Andre, so really appreciate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Heck,
Oh,
they look
nice.
sharp.
From myself up here in Grand Prairie, if you guys never made it to Grand Prairie, Alberta, we got 3 awesome courses, and they're super challenging and fun to play. So make it up sometime and try it out.
If you haven't been to co-op, I mean, no shade on the other 2 courses you mentioned, but if you haven't played co-op, you got to play it. It made it into my top 3 courses in Western Canada. It is an absolute hidden gem. It will blow your mind. You're throwing on ridges and down crazy hills and beautiful forests, and and it's pro level disc golf. Super
Totally.
fun. You guys are doing great work up there.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys. You guys are more than welcome to stay in the green room if you guys would like. We are just gonna. I think we're just gonna finish out with some news. So, thanks again, and have a good night. And we'll play some rounds this season.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, fellas.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Love you guys, patrons.
Love you, patrons.
Love you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for listening to that little bit there. We had long bit. That was fun and very interesting. So, All Stars is this weekend.
Yeah. Tomorrow. 2 days.
Yeah.
Does it start? Is it tomorrow? Does it start tomorrow?
No, it starts Friday.
Friday.
Starts Friday.
I'm sleeping. Sorry.
Yeah, we are getting a little bit late into this, but I did want to bring this up because it is relevant. So the skills event is on Friday, February 17th. And what will be happening there is there's going to be a putting challenge. The draft took place last weekend. I actually didn't catch it, so I don't know what the teams are. I know that it was Paul and Ricky drafting, so I'm sure it wasn't really must-see TV. But the skills competition is interesting. So they have putting from 6 different stations. They have shot shaping from 5 different throw types, which all include mandatories that you have to go around or under or over. And then they have a controlled distance, which I think is probably one of the funner ones to watch. It's not going to be double negative. It's going to be similar to the US DGC coverage that they just came out with. So it's controlled distance.
Can't just flex it out there like crazy. Have to hit a landing zone. Good. I think it's a good watch.
Yeah, I
watched last year. It was an enjoyable time. The sport sets itself up nice for a skills competition, and it also like the sort of it's already kind of got a casual atmosphere as a sport to begin with, so it's not quite the same jarring change that other pro sports are when you go to an all-star game. Like there's a hockey all-star game, and it's like, well, they're not even playing hockey, and they don't even play the Pro Bowl anymore, because it's like, how do you go from football, like people beating each other's brains, into flag football?
Yeah,
it's just 2 different sports. But the all-star game in disc golf and the skills competition are good translations of the sport, I think.
And then they play doubles.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that eagle that Ezra and James got. So dirty.
So that was on that'd be on the Fridays, the skills, and then Saturday is a doubles competition.
Love it.
And then Sunday is the singles. So
don't love it.
Don't love it.
I don't know about the singles.
I actually thought it was kind of cool because it does it kind of rank the way that they rank them against each other. So you're going to watch Paul and Ricky do battle against each other, which is kind of cool. And it'll be interesting because it's not, it's kind of more casual. So it's not like they're going to be everyone's going to be butting heads. But I mean, I'm sure last year you saw some people get a little more competitive with it.
Actually, I take it back because it's essentially just a team.
Yes.
They're playing singles, but they're still playing points for their team.
Yeah.
And then a team
It's
wins.
like a Ryder Cup kind of thing.
Right.
Or
yeah. I take it back. I love it.
And didn't we we had an insane ace, and then we had Eagle.
Nico.
I think, yeah, and then we had Eagle. Didn't he throw in or putt in from 100 feet on the last hole or something like that last year?
Crazy.
I like that. It's not for points. It's not for anything. It gives them the green light on anything, and you can really see what a low percentage play for those guys is, and how often it actually works out.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be great. The doubles is kind of cool too, because I don't know, last year, I don't know what it is this year. I haven't read the rules, but last year the captain picked the doubles partners, so you could pick an Ezra Aderhold and put him with someone that is really good at putting, and just so Ezra could just bomb it out there and
tactical.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
All-star.
Yeah, so that's that was the All-Star that's coming up this week. Definitely worth checking it out. I don't know if it's on YouTube or is it on YouTube?
Well, yeah, Disc Golf Network.
Disc Golf Network.
I don't know how much of that is going to be on YouTube.
Yeah,
but
get a PDGA membership, get the Disc Golf Network. It's worth it. Watch live disc golf. We also recently had a big tournament, the challenge at the Go Hill. We kind of alluded to it a little bit. Eagle McMahon comes
That was
back.
an attempt at a goat sound. I'm not Philo Brathwaite. Good watch though.
Yeah. Eagle takes it down. Jacob Curtis.
Cupcake.
I almost drafted him for fun with
Honestly.
the last pick, but yeah,
He looked good when he wasn't taking a minute to putt.
I watched that video.
It's Nicola Castro is a weird choice to model your entire putting game off of.
This
Like
was
not just the amount of time
crazy.
he took, but he's like his putting motion
Yeah.
is exactly like Nico's setup and
They're
everything.
just got in a weird rhythm of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't stop.
Yeah.
I know he broke Philo Brathwaite at Worlds. One of the Swedes was playing in the card, and yeah, Cupcake was taking forever. And I quote, "Come on, Cupcake LaCastro, speed it up." That's what Philo said to Jacob Curtis.
That's funny.
And he didn't.
Yeah,
He
well.
proceeded to not play a PDGA sanctioned event for the rest of the year.
I think I remember the little clip that I saw. Ian Anderson was doing the commentary, and it was kind of like, come
What?
on,
Yeah.
that like this is enough.
There was at least one time it was over a minute. He
Yeah.
was standing on like a 25 footer.
Minute 16.
Insane.
Yeah.
I was watching it at
You don't want that to be like your
1.25 speed.
introduction to the disc golf world either.
Yeah.
Is that the
Hey, who's
Cupcake
this
origin
Curtis
story?
guy? Oh,
Where he got the nickname Cupcake from?
Yeah.
No.
Is that I was gonna say because it's like it's his Instagram
No, he-
handle. It's the whole 9 yards.
And I was scrolling through the comments. Cupcake was replying to everybody. He replied to somebody and said, "It bothers me more than it bothers you guys." There's no way that it bothers you more than it bothers us.
No.
Because then
if
you would
only there was
change.
something I could do about it.
And like, fair enough. Like, that doesn't just happen to somebody. Like, something's wrong there in his head. Like, something's going on. Mental
Putting
battle.
demons.
But
Yep.
figure it out, dude.
How old is he?
He's young.
Gen Z mental health. We're
Early
back at it.
20s.
Yeah.
Maybe even young. I think he might be even like 19.
Oh dang.
Yeah. He's
But-
quite young.
Throws a mile. Still can get it together. But I hope he gets it together because I don't want to watch that again.
No.
He'll figure it out, I'm sure.
And then on our FPO side,
Maria.
Maria Oliva.
Good
The,
pick.
she's been, as they say, the bridesmaid in the last couple of tournaments that she's played. She's finished second in the 2 warm-up A tiers that she's
beat
played.
Jen
And
Allen.
she beat Jen Allen and Owen Scoggins in this one, taking it by 2 strokes over Jen Allen. So,
Had a good final round, eh?
yeah,
6-stroke swing. That'll
Yeah.
do it.
I don't
that'll
know
do
if I
it.
call that a good round. Jen Allen dropped the ball off of her other rounds.
Definitely.
But solid weekend for Maria.
Yeah. It's nice to
consistent.
see her doing well with her new bag as well. So, yeah. Anything else on Go Hill there, guys?
Albert Tom
Albert Tom.
played good.
He did.
Could have hit a couple more putts. But okay, Eagle McMahon could have hit a couple more putts.
Yes.
He was a little shaky.
Yeah.
And saw that he was throwing a mind bender that was really flipping on him.
Mm.
So questionable.
Huh.
Making some questionable disc
Decisions.
choices.
Yeah, he's shaking off the rust, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
not bad when you're shaking off the rust and getting a win. At
Yeah,
a,
no,
a
he
big
could have
A
won
tier,
by a
so.
lot. He made
Yeah.
some weird mistakes.
Yep. And then I do believe we have another story from YouTube. We will cue Matt up. We will not get to our discussion today. We can save that one for the next podcast. But Matt, are you ready for your story time?
I'm ready. I feel a little bit weird because we could also just have the man himself read this, but
No.
you know what? This is why I'm getting paid the big bucks. So
Here we
Here we
go.
go.
He gets to listen to it in the green room.
oh yeah, story time. Lost disc story. One of our guys had a disc he won at a previous tournament that was a bottom stamp disc. He donated it, and someone else dyed it for a tournament CTP prize. I won the disc, and on the bottom it had a name of an Ontario pro player. I reached out, and he had lost it in Arizona 4 years prior. Somehow, it went through at least 3 people to get to me, with no one reaching out to this guy, including getting a dye on the flight plate. Incredible. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for the story. That's a cool story.
That was from
Cool
Greg.
story, bro.
Who was the player in Ontario?
I'm not sure.
Eric, chime in.
Maybe you can let us know.
Here we go. Maybe we can get him on here. Matt, I'll take you down for a second. We'll see if we can get him on.
Yep.
There he is. Greg.
What's up?
Who was the guy in Ontario that you got the disc from? The lost disc.
Jason Jalonen.
Oh, yeah.
Here, let me plug my headset in so you're not getting gross feedback.
No. That's not a name I've ever heard.
Jason Is he Finnish?
Did he ever get the disc back?
No, he didn't want it back.
All
so
right.
yeah, we'd reached out and he was just like, "Why do you guys have that?" I don't know. Like our guy won it from a CTP competition in Edmonton, brought it back, got somebody else to throw, and he did the Incredibles logo on it with like the swirls and the eye in the middle. And I won it in a CTP in our tournament. I'm just like, did anyone reach out to Jason Jalonen? Like it was just a signature and or like his name and the PDGA number, but I'm like, it's not that hard to find somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, good on you for trying, and yeah, did the right thing and paid off. You got a sweet dyed disc, so
yeah, it was a dynamic sheriff, so I got rid of it.
All right. There we go. I wonder how many times he's going to get called. So, thanks for that, Greg. Thanks for sticking around for that story. We're going to bring Matt back in. There we go.
Hey guys.
DD in shambles.
Yes. Yeah. If you have any stories, that doesn't necessarily have to be a lost disc story. Just hit us up on YouTube, on whichever podcast you're listening to. If it's a past one, if it's this one, let us know the story. If there's something that racks your brain and you want to get it out there and you want us to tell it, Matt will tell it. We'll get Matt to tell it. Max, what's going on with the RV?
We got to save it to next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's it. That's it for this week. Just make sure you go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/parkpro. We're all tired, having trouble getting the words out.
We went long,
We went long.
but I think it was good content.
Yeah, I think so
must
too.
see TV.
Yeah.
I love the draft.
I love, same.
Love it.
We'll update it through the season every now and then. As long as I'm winning, we'll update it regularly.
Yeah, exactly. Jesse, anything?
No, guys, I love you.
All right. Take us out, Matt.
All right. From all of us here at Park Pro, it doesn't take a Nobel Prize winning astrophysicist to know that if you are throwing a 12-speed driver 300 feet, you should try a mid-range instead.